This movie successfully leaves Rocky's shadows while staying inside of the Rocky franchise. What's going on? This is 1T, and I just finished watching Creed 3. Creed 3 follows the story of Adonis Creed, played by Michael B. Jordan. And by this time, he is now a world champion, retired and able to be a promoter for future upcoming champions. That's when he discovers an old-time friend, played by Jonathan Majors. And because of their history, Adonis tries to help him out, but in the end, it ends up biting him in the ass. This movie successfully leaves Rocky's shadows while staying inside of the Rocky franchise. What Michael B. Jordan was able to do was successfully create the character continuing forward without Rocky being completely missed or unnoticed. There was, of course, some moments where you would think Rocky should be there, but it wasn't anything to steer you away from the movie completely. By leaving Rocky's shadow, it was able to let Adonis progress forward into his own story, into his own backgrounds, into his own history. The Apollo and the Rocky factors are no longer apparent in the Rocky series, which helps the movies progress forward. So that's a very good thing that I really liked and enjoyed about this movie. As far as the storyline go, it was really good in setting up Adonis's own story. So even from his history, we get a little bit more about him as a child. We get a little bit more about his friends, his surroundings, what he grew up in, why he acts the way he acts, why he does this, why he has a certain demeanor. We get a little bit more of Adonis into this story, so that's what it really was good on, and I really liked and appreciated that part of the movie. And also kudos to Michael B. Jordan, of course, using anime style inspiration to make the fight scenes and choreography look completely different but similar to the old Creed movies that we've seen before. As a boxing fanatic though, I will say there was a few things that made the movie feel a little janky, especially how the sequence of events of how Adonis's old-time friend was able to go into the road that he was able to go. Certain things would have happened, there would have been certain, without spoiling the movies, you would have looked into certain things a little bit more and would have been like, yo, in real life, nah, they would have called foul play on that, they would have called foul play on that, they would have called foul play on that. But it wasn't something where it took you away from the movie. It's just if you was really into boxing and you saw it and you knew how certain things in certain ways go, you like, okay, that just doesn't completely make sense, but it's nothing to where it takes you away from the movie. When it comes to actual matches, the matches were really good. They were really choreographed and they looked stylistically good. They were entertaining and they did their job. As a boxing fanatic who actually watches the movements of boxers, practice the movements of boxers, etc., etc., I will say this is the best attempt Hollywood has done so far to make boxing feel as realistic as possible. So shout out to Michael B. Jordan for able to do certain things inside of the movie. For example, as it wasn't the most complicated of combinations, but the movie did a really good job in actually showing a boxer's mindset when they actually see a weakness and they actually can utilize it and they test the weakness out 1 or 2 times to see if it's an actual pattern. They did a pretty good job in noticing that and explaining that and showing how a boxer would utilize that to his advantage. I really enjoyed that aspect of the movie. Another thing that they did really good was a boxer's mindset when it shows that it's just them in the ring. As far as all the movements, like I said, they did their best. Certain things were choreographed to make it a lot easier for the actors. You can tell that they are actors portraying boxing. They're not actual boxers being actors, so it's really good. But that's something that only like the actual boxing fanatics will pay attention to know. As a core movie, the movie was solid. And just to add a little bit more touch to it, just to please boxing fans some more, they actually brought in some professional boxers such as Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, just to name some. It was really enjoyable. I definitely enjoyed watching Terrence Crawford on film. Giving Terrence Crawford a montage in the film was just such a nice little extra icing on the cake for me personally. So I definitely enjoyed that. Overall, the movie was good, had some plot holes into it, but other than that, it was just a solid movie. Good introduction to Adonis' real story, good breakaway from the Rocky shadow, but staying in the Rocky franchise. The good thing that made Creed 3 still apparent in the Rocky universe was that Adonis was using Rocky's resources. callbacks from Rocky. And my favorite part of the Rocky montage that it showed that this is still in the Rocky franchise was his beginning of his montage, where they described all the issues that Adonis had over the years, all his problems. That completely gave me the nostalgic feeling of when they always talk about Rocky's issues. So I love that aspect where it's like, oh, this is still a Rocky movie. So I appreciated that. There was definitely a lot of moments where Creed 3 went back to Rocky mechanics without being in Rocky's shadow. So overall, I love this movie. I'd give it a good 4 out of 5. This movie had combos. I enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts are below. Let me know if you liked the movie, if you thought it was perfect, if you thought certain aspects that I'm tripping about. Give me your thoughts. We can go back and forth. But like if you like the video, subscribe if you like the content. Until next time, y'all be easy.